The sky over Earth was no longer blue. It glowed red with fire and smoke as alien ships pierced the clouds. The first attack came fast, no warning, no mercy. Commander Harris stood at the edge of the destroyed outpost. Bodies of his soldiers lay, still in the dirt, blood mixed with dust. His jaw was clenched. His eyes burned not from smoke, but from rage. 2 days ago, Earth was still at peace. Now it was a battlefield. It started with a message. A single broadcast from a starship orbiting Mars. We are the Versha Dominion. Surrender or be removed from this galaxy. You are weak. You are unfit to rule even your own planet. Earth's leaders refused. Humanity had fought wars before. But this enemy was different. The Versha weren't just strong, they were proud. Their best warrior, General Kalara, stood in front of every transmission, mocking Earth. She was tall, silver-skinned, with glowing violet eyes. Her voice was calm, but cruel. Humans still use bullets and tanks. Your strength is a joke to us. We will erase you, and you will thank us for it. People feared her. News clips called her the Silver Ghost. Some said she could break steel with her bare hands. She laughed at Earth's weapons. She laughed at Earth's courage. But then, something changed. After Earth's forces lost 3 cities, General Harris was ordered to retreat and protect what was left of Europe. He hated retreating. He hated giving up. But one message changed his mind. A secret file arrived in his inbox. Hidden sender. Military code encryption. It was a video short, strange and shocking. It showed Kalara, not in armor, not giving orders. She was standing alone in a dark cave. And she was speaking in human English. I made a mistake, she said, her voice shaky. Humans ... are not what I thought. I was wrong. She looked scared. The video ended with GPS coordinates. They pointed to a ruined town in Eastern Europe, now under Versha control. Harris didn't believe it at first. A trap, maybe. Or, fake, but something in her eyes felt real. She didn't look like the proud alien general anymore. She looked like someone who had seen a monster. He called in his best team. Captain Reynolds, Sniper Lee May, Tech Engineer Raj, and Close Combat Expert Tanya Voss. I know it sounds crazy, Harris told them, but we're going in. We find her. If it's a trick, we end it. If it's not, we might have just found our way to fight back. That night, they dropped from a silent shuttle, parachuting behind enemy lines. The ruins were quiet, too quiet. The team moved like ghosts through broken streets, cracked walls, burned out homes. A dog barked in the distance, then silence again. Suddenly, a shimmer of light, then a form stepped from the shadows. It was her. Kalara. She didn't raise a weapon. She didn't speak. She just knelt on the ground and put her hands behind her head. Tanya raised her gun. What is this? A surrender? No, Kalara said. It's a request. For what? Reynolds asked, not lowering his weapon. To join your army. Asterisk. The team stared at Kalara in silence. For a moment, no one moved. Rain began to fall, soft at first, then harder, mixing with the ash in the air. Captain Reynolds stepped forward, his weapon still aimed at her. You mocked us. Killed our soldiers. Now you want to fight for us? Kalara didn't flinch. Her silver skin shimmered in the wet light. Her voice was calm, but her face showed something different. Fear. Yes, she said. I was wrong about humans. I saw your weakness as weakness, but it is something else. You have strength that my people do not understand. Li Mei whispered to Tanya. She's stalling. We should stun her and extract. Tanya's eyes narrowed. She doesn't look like she's here to fight. Reynolds looked back at Commander Harris through the live uplink. Sir? He asked. Harris's voice came sharp through the earpiece. "Bring her in, but if she twitches wrong, drop her." Reynolds nodded, then gestured. "Move," he told Kaylara. "Hands where I can see them. No sudden moves." She obeyed. They brought her to a hidden outpost in the Carpathian forest underground. Secure, lined with mesh to block signals. Kaylara was placed in a steel room with 2 guards and cameras on every wall. Harris arrived 6 hours later by shuttle. His eyes burned with anger, but his mind was sharp. He didn't speak right away. He just watched her through the one-way mirror. Kaylara sat with her back straight, not touching the table. She looked tired. Almost human. Finally, Harris entered the room. "You better talk fast," he said. "Or you're going back in a body bag." Kaylara nodded. "I know what I've done. But I'm here because I've seen what's coming. Even the Versha cannot stop it." "What do you mean?" Harris asked. Kaylara leaned forward. "You believe the Versha are your biggest threat. You are wrong. They are just the edge of something darker. Something we woke up. We thought we could use it. But it turned on us." Harris narrowed his eyes. "Use what?" She hesitated, then whispered, "The Ethermind." None of the humans in the room recognized the word. She saw their confusion. "The Ethermind is not a weapon. It is a being. We found it floating in the black void between galaxies. It is ancient, beyond logic, beyond fear. It speaks in thoughts. It promised us power, unity, a way to win. And," Harris pressed, "we connected our minds to it. We gave it a place inside our heads. It gave us knowledge. But we didn't realize it also took what?" Kaylara's eyes filled with something Harris had never seen in her kind before: regret. "It took our will, our thoughts, our souls. My soldiers follow orders now because they hear only the Ethermind. I broke free when I saw a human child protect her wounded father with nothing but a rock. She didn't run, she didn't scream. That was the moment. I realized, we are the weak ones, not you." Harris studied her. "You expect me to believe this?" She held up her wrist and turned it, revealing a deep scar. Underneath the skin, a small black chip glowed faintly. "This was my link to the Ethermind," she said. "I tore it out myself. They will come for me. They will try to erase me. But I have seen what your people can do. If I help you, we might stop them." Harris stood in silence. His gut said this could be a trick. But something about her story, it rang true, and the look in her eyes wasn't a lie. It was the look of someone who had lost everything. He finally spoke. "We'll keep you under watch. You'll be treated as a traitor by your own kind and a killer by mine. If you so much as blink wrong, you're done. But if you're serious, prove it." Kaylara gave a single, slow nod. "Tell me what you need, Commander." That night, as the guards changed shifts, Kaylara sat alone in her room, staring at the small screen showing a human family rescued from one of the attack zones, a mother hugging her son, a father crying silently. She whispered to herself, "This is what we don't have." But outside the base, unseen by any human eye, a silent shape moved through the woods. One of her own was coming. The council room inside the hidden base was tense. Commander Harris stood in the center, arms crossed, surrounded by his most trusted officers. A hologram of Kaylara hovered in the center, showing her movement patterns and eye scans. All perfect. Still, no one trusted her yet. "She wants to help us fight the Versha?" asked Major Steele. "The same alien who tore through our outer defenses and laughed at us on live broadcasts? She says she broke free from their mind control," Raj added, "and claims the Versha are being used by something worse." "The Ethermind," Harris muttered, thinking. "If she's telling the truth, this changes everything." Captain Reynolds frowned. "Even if she's honest, how do we know she's not being tracked?" She might be a walking signal. That was the moment the alarm blared. Intrusion detected. Security doors slammed down. Red lights flashed across the base. Soldiers scrambled. Harris grabbed his comm. Status: unidentified lifeform north sector. It got past drones and heat sensors. Fast. Smart. Harris didn't need to guess. She was followed. Kaylara sat in her secure room when the lights turned red. She stood slowly, eyes fixed on the steel door. He found me, she whispered. The guards aimed their weapons at her. I didn't lead him here. She shouted. But he'll kill everyone unless you let me help. Before they could respond, the wall behind them exploded. A tall, spiked figure stepped through the smoke Versha armor, darker than Kaylara's. His face was half covered in metal. His eyes glowed blue. Kaylara, he growled, you were chosen. You are infected with doubt. Return or die. She moved fast. With a sudden twist, she grabbed a guard's fallen stun baton and charged the attacker. Sparks flew. Metal clashed. The two aliens fought like shadows dancing in chaos, fast, brutal, silent. Every strike from the intruder could kill a human instantly, but Kaylara blocked and dodged like she'd trained for this all her life. Tanya and Reynolds arrived, weapons drawn. Don't shoot, Kaylara shouted. His armor absorbs energy. You'll just make him stronger. Then what do we do? Tanya shouted back. Kaylara looked at the ceiling, dropped the room. Harris heard this through the surveillance feed. Without hesitation, he gave the order. Cut floor supports, now. A controlled charge dropped the floor section, collapsing it into a deep blast chamber below. Kaylara and the other alien fell in with a crash. The team rushed to the lower level, where smoke and sparks filled the air. They found Kaylara alive barely, with her attacker lying unconscious beside her. She had stabbed a broken piece of rebar through a weak spot in his armor. She looked up at Harris, blood on her lips. You asked for proof, she said. There it is. Later that night, Harris entered the infirmary. Kaylara lay on a medbed, her arm wrapped, bruises across her body. You saved my team, he said. Why? She looked at the ceiling. Because your soldiers protected me without knowing me. Because your people are not machines. You feel, you think, you choose. The Ethermind hates that. It feeds on silence, on obedience. But you humans, you're loud, wild, unpredictable. That's your power. Harris was silent. Then he asked, if you were in their place, would you forgive you? Kaylara's voice was low. I wouldn't, but I wouldn't ignore a chance to win either. He nodded. Then let's make use of you. We're planning an infiltration mission. Deep inside Versha territory. Your knowledge could save lives. She sat up. You'll never get in with your weapons. Their scanners will pick up metal and energy fields. What do we take then? He asked. Kaylara looked serious. You take what they never expect. Stone, bone, fire, tools you build before machines. He raised an eyebrow. You're saying we go primitive? I'm saying you become unpredictable. The mission plan was insane, but it might work. They would slip into the Versha stronghold not with machines or tech, but with silence and surprise, camouflaged with mud and bark, armed with old weapons, bows, blades, even firebombs. Kaylara led the planning. She drew maps, explained guard paths, described the mind-controlled patrol rhythms. She knew their weaknesses. Still, there was tension. Tanya didn't trust her. Li Mei kept a knife on her at all times. Reynolds kept records of her every move. Kaylara never complained, but she often stared at herself in the mirror wondering if the face she saw was still hers. Asterisk. The human team moved like shadows through the thick mist. No drones, no radios, no metal. Each carried ancient tools, wooden spears, stone blades, bone hooks, crafted by Earth's forgotten ways. It was madness. But it was working. Kelara led them with quiet confidence. She wore no armor now, only a dark cloak and markings across her arms made from crushed forest root camouflage against heat sensors. Captain Reynolds followed close behind, eyes alert. Tanya Voss, silent and ready. Raj carried a satchel of homemade firebombs, and Li Mei guarded the rear, a sling of glass-tipped arrows across her back. Ahead lay the Versha Hive Fortress. Built into a mountain, it wasn't just a military base, it was alive. The walls pulsed. The stone glowed with soft blue veins, like veins beneath alien skin. The fortress was powered by the Ethermind, connected to all its soldiers through invisible threads. No tech could survive inside. No machines could fight there, but humans could. Kelara crouched near a ledge and pointed down to the main gate. You see those guards? They don't think. They feel. The Ethermind sends them emotions like fear, anger, suspicion. If we stay calm, we're invisible. If we panic, they'll sense it, Tanya muttered. Great, so we die if we get scared? Kelara didn't smile. Yes. They moved underground through forgotten tunnels. Kelara remembered these paths from her training days. Back when she was proud. Back when she believed the Versha were perfect. Now, the air felt colder. Inside the tunnels, strange symbols glowed on the walls, runes powered by the Ethermind. They flickered as the humans passed, reacting to their emotions. One pulse too fast, one stray thought of fear, and the alarm would trigger. Li Mei took slow, controlled breaths. Raj whispered, "These things can read thoughts?" Kelara whispered back, "They read patterns. The Ethermind watches everything. Even now." Suddenly, the team heard footsteps. 3 Versha soldiers appeared from the corner gray armor, glowing eyes, their hands crackling with energy. Everyone froze. Kelara stood and stepped forward. "Let me speak," she said softly. The Versha warriors paused. Then one of them stepped forward. "General Kelara, you are dead to us." Kelara replied in their own language. The words were sharp, almost musical. The humans didn't understand, but her tone was fierce. The other soldiers began to shake. One dropped his weapon. The Ethermind's control over them trembled. "They're still inside," Kelara said in human English. "If we break their connection, they can wake up," Reynolds nodded. "Raj." "EMP?" Raj tossed a short-range burst charge made from stripped parts. Small enough not to trigger sensors, but powerful enough to fry the neural implants nearby. It exploded in silence, just a pop and a flash. The 3 Versha soldiers dropped to their knees, screaming. Then, silence. They looked up, dazed, blinking. One of them muttered, "What? Is this place?" Kelara moved fast, whispering in their language, calming them. She told them who they were, who they had been, who they could be again. 2 of them chose to stay and fight. One ran in fear. "We have to move," Reynolds said. "That one will alert the hive." Kelara's voice was firm. "No, the Ethermind already knows we're here. It has felt me since the moment I stepped into its shadow." The team pushed forward, deeper into the living mountain. The tunnels pulsed now. The air turned hot, almost liquid. Tanya wiped sweat from her brow. Then they entered the core chamber. A huge glowing sphere floated in the center, not metal, not alive, something in between. It shifted like a jellyfish, but shone like a dying star. Thin tendrils reached from it into the walls, through the stone, the air, and beyond. Kelara's voice became quiet. "That is the Ethermind's eye." Raj whispered, "That thing is controlling the entire army?" Kelara nodded. "And more. It's learning, watching. It knows Earth. It knows you. Every war you've ever fought. Every fear you hide. It feeds on it. Suddenly, the eye pulsed. And every member of the team heard a voice inside their own heads. A cold, deep whisper. You do not belong. You fear what you do not understand. Let me take your burden. Let me think for you. Li Mei dropped to her knees, hands on her ears. Make it stop. It's inside my brain. Raj screamed. Kailara's voice cut through the noise. Fight it. Think of what you love. Hold your memory. It can't take what you guard. Reynolds focused on his daughter's smile. Tanya thought of her brother who died in the first strike. Raj imagined music. Li Mei saw the forest she used to walk in as a child. The Ethermind flinched. The eye dimmed. Kailara stepped forward, eyes glowing. You mocked humans, she said. But now I see they are stronger than us because they feel more. She placed her hand on the eye. You will not take them. The Ethermind screamed. The Ethermind screamed. It wasn't a sound humans could hear. It was something deeper. A twisting pressure inside the skull. Thoughts turned cold. Hearts pounded. Even time seemed to bend as the glowing eye thrashed inside its chamber. The humans staggered. Raj fell to one knee, nose bleeding. Li Mei dropped her bow, gripping her head. Reynolds clenched his fists, forcing himself to stay upright. Kailara stood in front of the eye, her silver skin shining with sweat. Her voice was calm but urgent. It's in defense mode. It will unleash its core guardians. We have seconds. Tanya grabbed Raj by the collar and yanked him up. Move, Kailara shouted. This way. The memory vaults, there's a path out. Reynolds asked, what's in the vaults? Kailara didn't look back. Everything. The Ethermind's knowledge. If we get even a piece, Earth can fight back. They ran behind them. The eye opened. A shriek filled the chamber, a physical blast of psychic energy. From the walls, new forms emerged. Not Versha, something older. Gray, faceless beings with long limbs and no mouths. They moved like liquid metal, fast and silent. Keep going. Reynolds shouted, drawing a blade made from earth steel. He slashed the first creature that jumped at them. It dissolved into smoke but left deep cuts in his arm. Two more came from the left. Tanya and Li Mei attacked together, Tanya with her spear, Li with her glass-tipped arrows. Still, they kept coming. Kailara reached the vault door and placed her hand on the sensor. It refused her. I'm locked out, she said. The Ethermind erased me. Reynolds stepped forward. Can we blast it open? No time, Raj shouted. They'll overwhelm us. Kailara looked at the eye in the distance. There's one more way. She closed her eyes. What are you doing? Tanya asked, backing away. Kailara whispered, I'm letting it speak to me again. Just for a second. The team shouted at her, but it was too late. Kailara stepped into the pulse of the eye. Her body went stiff. Inside her mind, she stood in a black ocean. The Ethermind floated above her, a huge eye with no iris, no soul. You returned. It whispered. You were mine. You are broken. She answered in her mind. No, I was blind. Now I see what you are. You fear them. You fear humans because they are chaos. The Ethermind hissed. They are flawed. They destroy what they love. Yes, she replied. But they also fight for what they love. Something you'll never understand. She reached out mentally and stole a spark of its knowledge, a code, a thought, a weakness. The eye screamed. Back in the real world, the vault door opened. Kailara collapsed. Reynolds caught her before she hit the ground. I got it, she whispered. I saw how to kill it. Raj rushed into the vault, pulling open floating crystal cubes filled with pulsing lights. These are data archives. I'm grabbing what I can. Li Mei guarded the door, arrows flying. Tanya stood over Kailara, unsure. You okay? Kailara slowly stood, blood dripping from her nose. "I'll live." Reynolds handed her a small power pack. "Can you get us out?" Kelara nodded. "Through the lower path. I memorized it during training." They escaped down a spiraling stone tunnel, chased by screeching echoes. At the exit, the team emerged into night. A hidden landing pad blinked in the distance. Their stolen signals finally triggered the evac shuttle, but behind them, the eyes' glow spread. The mountain began to shake. Kelara turned. "It knows what we took. It won't stop." Tanya asked, "What did you see in there?" Kelara looked toward the stars. "I saw Earth's future. And I saw its enemy. The Ethermind isn't just controlling the Versha. It's reaching beyond. Other species. Other minds. It wants the galaxy." Raj held up a glowing crystal from the vault. "But now, we have its weakness." Back at the human base, the team landed with emergency signals blaring. Harris met them himself. "What did you find?" he asked. Reynolds handed him the data crystal. "Everything." Kelara stood beside them, wounded, changed, silent. Harris looked at her, not as an enemy anymore, but not as an ally either. Something in between. "Then let's prepare," he said. "Because it's coming." A week passed. The skies above Earth remained quiet, but the silence was not peace. It was the stillness before a final storm. Inside the hidden mountain base, scientists worked day and night decoding the alien data Kelara and the team had recovered from the Etherminds. Vault. Holograms floated above labs. Alien scripts flickered across human screens. Something in that crystal held the key to defeating the Ethermind, but not everyone believed in it, or in her. Kelara stood in a training hall, breathing heavy. Sweat rolled down her back. She had spent hours fighting against human combat bots, testing herself, pushing limits, trying to feel something real after what she had seen inside the eye. She struck one last target with a sharp elbow, breaking it in half. Behind her, Tanya stood watching. "You don't sleep," Tanya said. "I can't," Kelara replied. "My dreams are not mine anymore." Tanya walked closer. Her voice wasn't kind, but it wasn't cruel either. "Some of the men think you're still linked to that thing. That you're feeding it everything we say." Kelara looked at her. "If I was ... would I still be here?" Tanya said nothing. Kelara added softly, "I didn't come here to be forgiven. I came to make sure there's something left to forgive." In the war room, Commander Harris stared at the decoded alien map hovering above the table. Raj explained the symbols. "This," he said, pointing at a glowing red spot, "is the core. The Ethermind isn't just a floating brain. It has a real structure hidden inside a moving ship deep inside the Versha fleet. That's where it truly lives." Reynolds frowned. "Then we need to get there." "Not just that," Raj added. "We need to destroy it from inside. Physical weapons can't touch its core. But this..." He held up a human-made device, a neurovirus. "Based on what Kelara showed us. If we upload it into the Ethermind source, we shut it down permanently." Harris nodded slowly. "So it comes down to one last mission." Everyone looked at each other. "Again," Reynolds said, "we'll need her." But voices rose in protest. "She's still one of them," shouted Major Steele. "You trust her with our last hope?" "She risked her life to save us," Raj said. "She might be a spy." Steele snapped. Kelara entered at that moment. The room fell silent. "I won't beg for trust," she said. "But I will go, alone if I must." Reynolds stepped beside her. "You're not going alone." Lee May stepped forward. "Me neither." Tanya hesitated but nodded. "She's earned her place." Major Steele growled. "You're all fools. You're betting Earth's survival on an alien's word." Kelara turned to him. "Then don't bet on me. Bet on yourselves." I'm only the guide. It's your courage that the Ethermind fears." The next morning, the team boarded the modified stealth ship, Echo Blade, painted black. No tech that could be traced. Just raw Earth-made parts mixed with Versha designs Kalara helped repurpose. Reynolds sat at the controls. Raj and Li Mei prepped the virus. Tanya checked weapons one last time. Kalara stood alone at the back of the ship, her hand against the cold wall. For a moment, she remembered her first days as a Versha general. The pride. The power. The lies. Now, she fought for a planet that wasn't hers. Yet somehow, it felt like home. Halfway through deep space, the ship was intercepted. A vast wall of ships blocked their path. Versha command vessels, shining like black blades in the void. In the center floated something enormous. The Ethermind's true form, a living cathedral of thought and metal, pulsing with energy. Reynolds turned. "Kalara, how do we get inside that?" She answered, "We don't use stealth anymore. We call it." She opened a secure channel. "This is Kalara of the Versha Dominion," she said aloud. "I returned to the source." The eye responded immediately. "You are a broken voice. Return and be cleansed." She smiled bitterly. "I'm returning. But not to be cleansed, to finish what I started." The Versha ships began to move, clearing a path. Tanya watched in disbelief. "They're letting us through." "No," Kalara said. "They think they've already won." As the Echo Blade approached the living fortress, the team prepared for the final breach. "Once we enter," Reynolds said, "there's no turning back." Kalara looked at him. "Then let's make sure there's no need to." The Echo Blade passed through the black wall of Versha ships. No alarms. No weapons fired. The Ethermind wanted them inside. The massive structure before them was not made of metal or stone, it was grown. Twisting veins, living walls, pulsing. Lights like organs. The fortress was a brain, a heart, and a trap all in one. As the ship docked at the entrance bay, the doors opened with a soft hiss. Mist poured in. Kalara stepped out first, unarmed, unafraid. Behind her came Captain Reynolds. Tanya, Li Mei, and Raj each held only basic weapons and a single mission device, the neurovirus core small enough to carry, powerful enough to end everything. Inside the fortress, the lights dimmed. Then came the voice, deep, cold, everywhere at once. "You enter willingly." "Why?" Kalara spoke aloud, steady and sharp. "To end you. You cannot end thought. You cannot stop the tide of control." Reynolds whispered, "Ignore it. Stay focused." They moved through long corridors, their boots silent on the living floor. The walls pulsed as if breathing. Shadows moved inside the walls, ghosts of those who had given in. Kalara led them. Deeper, past glowing alien glyphs, past twisted machines that hummed like organs. Finally, they reached the core chamber. The Ethermind's heart floated above a black pool, massive, glowing, shifting. It was beautiful and terrifying. Raj opened the virus case, but the Ethermind struck. The lights flared. A wave of mental force crashed through their minds. Reynolds screamed and dropped to one knee. Tanya fell back, clutching her skull. Li Mei's eyes rolled, her breath shallow. Only Kalara stood tall. She walked forward slowly, toward the heart. The voice entered her mind again. "You were perfect, strong, obedient. Why throw it away for them?" "Because they taught me to choose." Her thought burned back like fire. "They are chaos. They fight. They destroy, even each other." "Yes," she replied. "But they choose love. They choose pain. They choose freedom. That makes them more alive than you will ever be." The Ethermind screamed. "Kalara, turn to the team, now." Raj tossed the virus core to her. With her last ounce of strength, Kalara leapt forward and drove the device into the heart. The glow exploded. The fortress began to shake. The tendrils writhed. The walls screamed. The voice went silent. Reynolds pulled Lime to her feet. Tanya grabbed Raja's arm. We need to get out, Kailara. But Kailara was already falling as the virus spread. It flooded the Ethermind with pure chaos memories, emotions, paradox, love. Everything it had stolen was turned against it. Kailara looked up at the collapsing core. She smiled weakly. I was wrong about you, humans. She fell. The Echo Blade barely made it out before the fortress exploded behind them. An implosion of thought and light and silence. The Versha ships went dark. Across the galaxy, millions of minds woke up. Free. Back on Earth, the news spread. Like fire, the Ethermind is gone. Kailara sacrificed herself. The war is over. The once mocked humans were now legends. Their small team had defeated a galactic god of thought. In the center of New Geneva, a statue was built. A tall silver figure with violet eyes stood holding a human flag in one hand, and an empty Versha helmet in the other. The plaque read, Kailara, born a weapon, died a warrior, remembered as one of us. Reynolds visited the statue each year. He never said much. Tanya trained the next generation of peacekeepers. Li Mei became Earth's first ambassador to the newly freed Versha, and Raj turned the virus data into a shield ensuring the Ethermind could never return. Years later, a group of school children stood by the statue. One asked the teacher, was she really an alien? The teacher nodded. Yes, but more importantly, she chose to be human in the end.